This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, this is Anya Slindy, AAC consultant in Kentucky. I wanted to take some time today to look at our new Tobii Dynavox funding website. So right here, I have my kind of my work login, and I'll show you how that ties in later. But today I'm actually going to show you how to make a new user as an SLP and to go through the funding process in a more EMR format versus doing a narrative style report. So I'm going to register as a new user. And I'm going to use a fake email address that I have for this type of thing. And I am an SLP. I'm going to make my password same as I always do. And I can fill all this stuff out later if I want. Right now, I'm going to save some time, but obviously you would want to put in your phone number, facility name, all of that, because it's going to auto-populate. So we do want your action number, we do want your license number. That's kind of what's normally at the bottom of it, of your report, but here you would fill it out here. So I'm going to say register, and it's going to say, do you want to save? Sure, whatever, email confirmation. So I'm in my fake email address, and I'm going to see how long it kind of takes to send that confirmation email. You obviously only have to do this once when you're actually providing and creating a new user.
This conference will now be recorded.
So I paused you just for a second because it took about 5 minutes to get this email, so don't be alarmed. So I am going to now confirm my email address. I'm going to confirm by clicking here. I'm gonna log in. All right, we're ready to get started. So I'm gonna go to my applications. Add a new application. I'm gonna do tester. And they live in 40204. Create an application. All right. So typically when we are requesting any form of device, at least in Kentucky, we need the client information forms, which is 3 pages normally, and a release of benefits, which is 1 page. That together I consider the family paperwork. And then we also have the SLP report. You can do all of that through here. If I came and helped you with an evaluation and took family paperwork from the family at that time, you can actually skip all the way down to the SLP eval portion. We might want to do the equipment recommendation. I'll show you why in a second. But this is a combination of all of the family paperwork. So if you're an SLP, you can fill this out. If I didn't come and I didn't collect paperwork, you can go ahead and fill this out. It's going to be their first and last name, their date of birth, some basic stuff like this. They are single, they're male, this is their email address, they live at home. I can go through all of this. I can go through their client advocates. So that might be family member, right? So maybe this is a parent that I'm explaining, who we're actually talking to. Next, I can go through and say who the speech therapist is. It's me. If I had already filled this stuff out on the other first page, this would auto-populate. How wonderful is that? Okay, next, the treating physician. We can put all that in. Next, we have shipping address. So this is all the stuff that's on the client information form. We don't need to do it twice, but if you're doing it, this is great. The reason we want to do the equipment recommendation before we skip to an eval in the event that I've already taken family paperwork is I need to choose what this is. So I might say I want to purchase, and I want it to be the I-12 with eye gaze interaction. So I want an I-12 with eye gaze. I want a wheelchair mount, yes. Or if in the event that I can qualify for a universal mount, which is possible with some insurances, I might click yes. I want a universal mount, which means I want a wheelchair and table top mount. I'm just going to list that there so that I know. Next. Now, I need their insurance information, Medicare, Medicaid. Maybe I have private. If they have private, this will auto-populate again. So I can write down what their private insurance has. Okay? So let's talk about the SLP eval portion. This is typically we have templates that go out and a lot of people type these up as a true report. This is more of an EMR format like I just talked about. So we have their address again, medical diagnosis. So maybe they have cerebral palsy. Date of onset is maybe birth. So maybe like 0502 2009. The communication diagnosis is mixed expressive and receptive language. Date of onset, also birth, right? No, it's not a result of an accident. We did the evaluation maybe on 08/20/2018. My report I'm writing the same day. I have their Medicaid, Medicare number. If I've already listed that, I probably don't need to do it again. If they live at home, this might even auto-populate. Okay, next. Here we go. General statements, comprehensive assessment, cognitive skills, all the things that we need in a report. Physical status, vision status. So let's go up to the top. Speech impairment, right? Examples. Cerebral palsy. Look at this. It's all listed here. Copy, paste. So my client is a 15-year-old boy with a diagnosis of cerebral palsy and a seizure disorder. This is true. He demonstrates the following communication skills. He does smile. He does laugh. He does verbal approximations of, let's say, 5 words for me. He's not able to communicate by pointing or shaking. True. He is unable to imitate oral movements. True. He has mixed expressive language disorder and severe dysarthria. True. He repeated attempts to increase his vocal loudness. Yep, all true. I would say he's understood less than 10% of the time. Okay, great. Now let's do anticipate course of impairment. Let's see. So his name's Test, right? Test has severe dysarthria due to cerebral palsy. The condition is stable and speech intelligibility is not expected to improve. Also true about my client. So do you see how you can go through here? And there are great examples. So language skills. Let's see. Maybe this is more what I'm doing. I can kind of pick one. So he has an understanding of when he's spoken to. He understands cause effect. He can identify letters and numbers. His expressive language is limited compared to his receptive due to his severe dysarthria. He appears to understand somewhat more than what he can communicate. Yada, yada, yada. So I can really go through here. Cognitive skills. Again, examples. I can go through. Physical. Examples. He's using eye gaze, right? I can go down here and say, right here. Copy, paste. So he's got physical weakness. He's got spasticity or, spastic movements, which make it impossible for him to have functional graded movements for direct selection. Switches were deemed inappropriate. I can write whatever I want in here, but there's some great examples in here that let us know like where we need to go with this report in order to get something funded for them. So we can go through that. My functional needs, why I'm ruling out certain things. I can write my goals in here. I'm saying they need eye control. They need combination of pictures and words. They need synthesized speech. Examples. Okay, I would fill all this out. Obviously, I'm going faster so you guys just see what it looks like. And then I can say the trials and devices that we used, right? So we tried maybe the i15. We tried it with eye control, but I can say like i15 was too heavy and too large for the client. He preferred the i12 size-wise, which is also a more affordable option. Next, I would need to add another device back there where I just was actually. So, more goals. Okay. So we have the treatment plan and then final steps. So this is where if I, as your rep, had come and helped you with an evaluation and provided you the family paperwork, or maybe as an SLP that's independent in evaluations, I sent paperwork home with the family, they brought it back to me. I scanned it in and I'm going to say, you know what, this is the client information form. I'm going to choose a file, bring it in, attach it. So you don't have to fill this out if you fill it out on paper form. Does that all make sense? So then next, okay, so if I'm a family member, the guardian has to sign the release of benefits. So I would have to add the family to this. If you have done it on paper and attached it, that works great too. So we'll just say save and continue later. I'm going to cut this short and I'm going to add another video probably later talking about how to add people to your applications. But this should give you a pretty good idea of how wonderful it is to have those great examples listed in the eFunding website. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.